Anthony H. Wilson, whoever he is. We'll go from there, boys and boys, because this channel is an absolute sausage fest. Oh, don't worry, I'll tighten that up for you, mate. There's only 200 of these ever made. Yo, welcome back to the channel. Intro number 2 for anyone who's got eagle eyes, and you know that I'm just filming another intro straight after the one for the last video. Anyway, today we're doing an Eicr vacant property. I thought it was a flat, to be honest, but it isn't. It's a house. It's quite big as well. It's a very odd shape. I'll give you a little tour in a minute. I've not done anything yet. I'm in the house now already. I've not done anything yet. I've not touched any tools, not touched anything. All I've done is walk round, just get my gear in the house and all that. And just thought, what a strange layout for a house it is. So I'll show it you now if you want. How's about that? Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, stop being tight. So we've got a pendant and a pendant type thing over there. Can you tell what city I'm from? It's a bit odd actually, because it's vacant, but there's still stuff here, like, they mustn't have moved out properly yet. But anyway, the landlord wants me to come and do this. So, this is Manchester. We do things differently here, said Anthony H. Wilson, whoever he is. But yeah, this is the kind of why it's weird. It's like steps down into the kitchen, which is odd. And then we've got a basement, which is where I'll be working, because that's where I found the mains board. But this is what I thought was rather weird, is not just upstairs. Upstairs seems pretty normal. 2 bedrooms as standard, but it's this bathroom, look. Down some proper downstairs to get in the bathroom, like, and then there's a pendant over there nearly touching the wall. Down these stairs, like, seems really odd. I'm guessing someone put that gate there to stop you falling down this massive step. And this is where we'll be working. This basement room, obviously, mains board's there. Curious to see what them 2 things are doing there, look. It's very odd. Curious to find out about that. Anyone who watches the channel knows that that's my tester. Will I be unveiling the new one? Maybe not in this video, but I'll give you a clue to what it is. There's only 200 of these ever made. Ever made, 200 of them. Special edition for your boy. Yeah, anyway. So it looks like a fairly new fuse board, consumer unit, whatever. I'd assume by the looks of it. Double dual RCD. I'm assuming that's been changed since this has been done. I'm guessing this is pretty new, to be honest. Could be quite a nice room, but feels a bit slopey. Anyway. So yeah, I'm not going to do a full Eicr on video because it's just too hard. So, because I've got quite a few Eicrs coming up, I'm going to try and just do like a different test on a different circuit sort of thing for each video, maybe 2. And if I find any problems, I'll show them to you. Didn't mean to rhyme that, but it did. Let me get all my gear all set up and the fuse board opened up, and we'll go from there, boys and boys, because this channel is an absolute sausage fest. Right, so all I've done so far is I've just took the cover off and I just noticed this. At first I thought there was a circuit that weren't RC protected, but it is an RCBO. And I looked and it's called Pump RCBO. You probably can't see that on there. So I'm placing my bets right now, and I've not checked that socket is on its own circuit, and them 2 cables that just go through the wall, because don't forget we're in a basement here, is some kind of sump, pump, whatever they're called, in case it fills up with water, and I think that's what that circuit will be. And if so, someone was pretty clever to put it on its own RCBO, because those sumps have a habit of getting damaged and tripping the RCDs. So, smart idea, whoever did that. Well, they don't look very clever there, do they? Oh. Live. Oh, don't worry, I'll tighten that up for you, mate. There you go. There you go, lad. I'll tighten that one up for you. No extra charge. So, by the looks of it, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 rings. Let's have a look. Sockets in the cellar, sockets and sockets. Yeah, sounds about good. Then we've got lighting in the cellar and the lighting for the rest of the house on the same circuit, but looks like it could be split into 2, but and that's about it. And then the pump on the RCBO. Give these a quick check. Yep, obviously we'll test them properly. Someone's taped the end of the buzz bar up, which is nice to see. They've put grommet strip on and held it on with tape. No fire sealant, no, but there you go. At least they've had a go at it. Used a proper tails gland. Yeah, quite happy with that board, to be honest. It's not always a fashion show, is it? But there you go. Should we have a little peek inside that bag? Doing straight off the bat, going to do a ZE. So we've got the tester set to loop impedance. That's the main earth that goes straight to that block there. There's no parallel paths whatsoever. And we're going on the live straight at the top. We're on a TNCS system. The voltage is only 215, which is quite low. And 0.22, which is good. TNCS, correct me if I'm wrong, is the maximum ZE is 0.35. I'll just check again, look, 215. Never seen a voltage so low before, to be honest. 0.22. So obviously I'm starting testing with that RCBO circuit, which I've turned off now, and look at that. He was only right, the lad. It is that, and it must be some sumps over there. There's some spots on this floor that don't half creak when I walk on it. I feel like I'm going to fall through. Might have a little nosy under there. Should we have a look? What do you think? Yeah, it's got to be sumps then. It's in H07, you know what I mean? It's the kind of cable you get on a sump. So I think they have a water issue behind there, and that's what that's doing. Have a look under there, you might even see the sumps under that, to be honest. Curiosity was killing me, so I had to lift it up. And we was right. We done that together. It is sump number 1, sump number 2. There's the cables floating up there somewhere, and obviously they come out there, and they're just plugged in. Not quite what I was expecting. I didn't think this was going to be under the floor like a full tank system and all this stuff. I just thought it was just going to be like you'd normally see, just a sump sat on the base like the floor. So that's that on its own circuit. So yeah, very, very nice indeed that someone's thought I'm going to put it on its own RCBO, considering there's 2 sumps just submerged in water. So when the inevitable does happen and they fail and it trips, it doesn't take anything else with it. It is just the sumps on its own, because obviously look, there's a spare way there. They could have done that, so someone's thought that through. Nice to see that. Didn't mean to say nice. It just came out. Right, that can go back down now anyway. I'm done. My curiosity has been tickled. So let's go and do a ZS on the pump circuit, because it's only there. It's nice and easy to show you. It's a 2.5 radial on a 16 amp RCBO. The R1, R2 was 0.12, R1RN 0.08. Insulation resistance was 999 off the scale high, which is what you should expect really, because it looks quite new down here. And then the maximum ZS for that circuit should be 2.2 ohms, unless that's obviously using the RCD as additional protection and not fault protection. Under fault protection you'd have it at 1667, but obviously that's a stupid thing and no one should ever be doing that probably, but that's a different argument. So ZS over to these. Going to have it on the 3-wire low current test, otherwise it'll just trip the RCBO and it'll automatically start with its weird low voltage. So we should be expecting to see about 0.35 or something. 32, that's good. The reason I just said 3.5 is because I just we've got the ZE and the R1, R2, so we should be getting that. It's a little bit lower, I think. I've not worked it out properly, but that was just a quick guess in my head. It's a little bit lower, but that's probably because of the bonding, conductors and stuff, parallel paths. Also, I noticed that yellow lid. I didn't take that off, but that should be there. So that's the ZS. And obviously the fault current, prospective fault current of that circuit is there. So we're going to write that down on max ZS, measured ZS, sorry, 0.32. And now we'll do the RCD test. I might as well keep it rolling, Anna. So we're on a 30 milliamp RCD. So we're going to put it on auto test, set it to 30 milliamps. Leave that over here so we can run back and forward, so we don't have to keep running back and forward. And we'll press test, and then we'll run back over to the mains board, and it should trip. There you go. So obviously there's 4 tests. That was 1, that was 2, 3, and I'm not going to say the last number, just to anyone who's got continuity issues. That'll wind you right up, won't it? That's the end of that test. So what we're looking for is the highest reading on 1 times and the highest reading on 5 times, because the highest is the slowest. Half times it didn't trip, which is good. 1 times is 18.2 or 8.4, so 18.2 is the slowest, so we'll record that. And 5 times is 18.9 and 8. So it's 18.9 and 18.2, did I say? So 1 times is 18.2 milliseconds and 5 times is 18.5 or 7. Put 5 for now, and I'll check again now. Ramp test. Do a ramp test on here as well. We can stay over here for that. 18, let me just check what that 5 times was. 18.2 and 18.9. Oh, better change it, I was wrong. Then we'll go over to the ramp test feature. And why does it say 48 volts? Oh, probably because the RCBO is still turned off. Damn. Ramp test. Try again. Usually RCBOs and stuff, they trip at about 25 milliamps, some 21, some 27. So this is going to be 25. No, 19. That's very low indeed, but it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon. Does anyone else do stuff like that when you're testing? Do you try and guess what's going to happen dead quick just before you get the right answer? 19 milliseconds on a ramp test, and I'll change that 18.5 to an 18.9, and that's that circuit completely tested 100%. All I need to do now is take that cover off, check the connections, check that there's earth leaving on there, which I've no doubt because there's earth leaving on this end and obviously the same person has done it. I don't really see the need for it being an IP socket. I think that's a bit overkill in here because there's a lot of other sockets that are not, but hey ho, that's what they went for. Right, so what else I'm going to do is I'm going to test this ring final circuit for these sockets, and the sockets are the ones in this basement. Oh, so it says on the lid. So far everything else has been labelled up as it is, so I've no doubt. Plus it's new cable. The reason I'm going to show you this one is because it's in the same room and it's just easy for me to film it at the same time. So you don't have to do, when you're doing an EICR, you don't have to do the testing in order like you would do on initial verification. I'm just doing it here because why not? It's nice to stay in the habit of doing the test in the correct order. Like you shouldn't really be doing insulation resistance before you do R1, R2. Stuff like that, because each test follows on from the last one and it relies on the last one to be accurate for the next one, kind of thing. So test set to low resistance ohm meter or whatever it's called, continuity, and we've nulled the leads already. So we start off with R1's end-to-end test on everything, and we're on 0.21 there. I can't write them down because got nowhere to put my laptop, but I'll write them down in a minute. So 0.21, neutral should be exactly the same because obviously we've got, they're both the same size cable and it's exactly the same, 0.21. These are 1.5mm earths with this cable, so they should be 1.67 times greater than them because they're 1.67 times smaller than them. They're 2.5mm, they're 1.5mm, and that's just how it goes. So whatever 0.21 is times by 1.67 should give you 0.34. So it should give you somewhere around about that. I would check it, but there's no point because obviously that's about right. If it was dead high, then you'd know something was up. So 0.33, that's that sorted. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to interconnect the line and the earth with the opposite line and earth and run round to every socket and check the R1, R2, which I'll show you in just a minute. Let me just record these results on there so I don't forget them, and I'll catch up with you in a moment. Right, R1, R2 on a ring final circuit. We know that we just done the end to ends of the line. We're interconnect, so that live, don't know if you can see it, is that cable. So that one goes to the opposite one, effectively just creating one giant loop. So we just had an R1 end to end of 0.22, and then we had an R2, so plus 0.33, that's 0.55. So that was our two end-to-ends, but because we've interconnected them, we divide it by 4, and we should be looking at somewhere about 0.1375, so about 0.14 is what we're looking for. Again, we're still set to the ohms. We're in them two sockets. We've nulled our leads already, and I've just unnulled them then with the camera. So this is my null box, a lot cheaper than Fluke's piece of metal that they sell. So null it out, it's on 0.5815, yeah, now that's nulled. So just looking around, we've only got 3 sockets, 1, 2 and 3 in the basement, and that's all that's on this circuit. No need for it to be a ring final circuit, and it is the, but hey ho. So of course you check every socket, both sides, because sometimes you'll get a faulty side. You flick the switch on and off each one to prove the polarity is correct. And that's 0.12, so that's a little bit lower than we was expecting, which is fine by me. 0.12 again. Check the switch, check both sides. 0.12 again, and of course it's a ring and they're interconnected, so they should all be exactly the same. If not, you've probably got a loose connection in one of them, or one of the sockets is a bit dodgy like that one, 0.15. So just give the switch a couple of flicks. There you go, 0.12. So that's just a bit of resistance built up on the rocker. And 0.12 again, just check polarity, and we're laughing now. So the correct answer for the R1, R2 is 0.12, and it's as simple as that. And then we move over to insulation resistance on these, which, judging by the age of them, should be off the scale high, and we'll check that right now. In fact, I'll keep the camera rolling because it's right there. I'm sorry about the footage, it's all over the place, but I'm trying to hold the camera and test and show you the tester all at the same time, so it's a bit awkward. So I know that there's nothing plugged into this circuit. So normally on an EICR, I'd start off on 250 volts just to make sure I don't blow anything up. But I'm going to go straight over to 500 volts because I know it's just them 3 sockets. I'm positive of it. If I was a bit unsure, I wouldn't do it. I also know that they are a continuous ring, so I don't need to try and get both of those cables underneath the crocodile clip. I just need to be careful of that because there'll be 500 volts DC flying out the other end of it. So we'll go for line to earth. And if I wanted to, sometimes what I'll do before press test is I will get a crocodile clip on that and jump it over to one of them. But just for the sake of this video, I'm just going to change it. So there we go, off the scale high. So I'm going to take that off there and check it on the neutrals as well. to earth, so that's the live conductors to earth, both off the scale high, and then we're going to go to line and earth, line and neutral, just like that. Sorry if I'm waffling. And again, off the scale high. If that was a dead short, that's usually because there's something plugged in, but I know that there's not. So that's, oops, just give the ceiling a right crack with my tester then. Forget it's so low. Would you believe it? I'm only 5'1" as well. Right, next on my agenda is lighting circuit. So we've got a lighting circuit for the whole house and a little separate one for this basement conversion or whatever you want to call it. So the first thing that I've done is I've found the feed, which is at that light switch there. Of course, I was checking the connections there. It's all good. Strappers up to the top of the stairs are sleeved brown. Neutrals and earths are in a connector block, all sleeved up as necessary. And we've got two switches. We've got one for that side of the room, one for that side of the room. So I've took a few downlights out until I found the end line of that and the end line of that. The reason I've done that is because that is going to be the highest reading for this circuit. So all the downlights have been done the same. They've all got these bit old-fashioned now, but fair enough. What we call them, biscuits. I don't know what, it's like a JB junction box. This is still live, so obviously be careful. So this is going to be the highest reading, or that's going to be the highest reading, whichever one's the longest. I'd probably say that one just because there's more lights, more joints. This has only got 4 on. Anyway, rattling on yet again. So first I'm going to do this one in a different order. Like I said before, I'm going to do the ZS at both of these, find the highest, record that down for this circuit. It also proves that there's an earth continuously running right through. I've checked these boxes anyway, not all of them, about 80% of them, because I seem to go through every light before I found the end of the line. So yeah, ZS here, and then I'm going to do my R1, R2, stuff like that. So I'll do that now.